Show you literally how to grow your business overnight 30 to 130%, 180% with 2 or 3 changes.
Now it's amazing what doesn't exist in the real world. For example, in the real world, there aren't any things, nor are there any events. That doesn't mean to say that the real world is a perfectly featureless blank. It means that it is a marvelous system of wiggles in which we descry things and events in the same way as we would project images on a Rorschach blot or pick out particular groups of stars in the sky and call them constellations as if they were separate groups of stars. Well, they're groups of stars in the mind's eye, in our system of concepts. They are not out there as constellations already grouped in the sky. So in the same way, the difference between myself and all the rest of the universe is nothing more than an idea. It is not a real difference. And meditation is the way in which we come to feel our basic inseparability from the whole universe. And what that requires is that we shut up. That is to say, that we become interiorly silent and cease from the interminable chatter that goes on inside our skulls. Because you see, most of us think compulsively all the time. That is to say, we talk to ourselves. I remember when I was a boy, we had a common saying, talking to yourself is the first sign of madness. Now, obviously, if I talk all the time, I don't hear what anyone else has to say. And so in exactly the same way, if I think all the time, that is to say, if I talk to myself all the time, I don't have anything to think about except thoughts. And therefore I'm living entirely in the world of symbols, and am never in relationship with reality. All right, now that's the first basic reason for meditation. But there is another sense, and this is going to be a little bit more difficult to understand, why we could say that meditation doesn't have a reason or doesn't have a purpose. And in this respect, it's unlike almost all other things that we do, except perhaps making music and dancing. Because when we make music, we don't do it in order to reach a certain point, such as the end of the composition. If that were the purpose of music, to get to the end of the piece, then obviously the fastest players would be the best. And so likewise, when we are dancing, we are not aiming to arrive at a particular place on the floor, as we would be if we were taking a journey. When we dance, the journey itself is the point. When we play music, the playing itself is the point. And exactly the same thing is true in meditation. Meditation is the discovery that the point of life is always arrived at in the immediate moment. And therefore, if you meditate for an ulterior motive, that is to say, to improve your mind, to improve your character, to be more efficient in life, you've got your eye on the future and you are not meditating.
I'm really afraid of announcing this because I feel I'm going to get a lot of hate from the entire self-help industry
who are not meditating. Because the future is a concept. It doesn't exist. As the proverb says, tomorrow never comes. There is no such thing as tomorrow. There never will be, because time is always now. And that's one of the things we discover when we stop talking to ourselves and stop thinking. We find there is only a present, only an eternal now. So it's funny then, isn't it, that one meditates for no reason at all, except we could say for the enjoyment of it. And here I would interpose the essential principle that meditation is supposed to be fun. It's not something you do as a grim duty. The trouble with religion, as we know it, is that it is so mixed up with grim duties. We do it because it's good for you. It's a kind of self-punishment. Well, meditation, when correctly done, has nothing to do with all that. It's a kind of digging the present. It's a kind of grooving with the eternal now. And brings us into a state of peace where we can understand that the point of life, the place where it's at, is simply here and now. The easiest way to get into the meditative state is to begin by listening. If you simply close your eyes and allow yourself to hear all the sounds that are going on around you, just listen to the general hum and buzz of the world as if you were listening to music. Don't try to identify the sounds you're hearing. Don't put names on them. Simply allow them to play with your eardrums. And let them go. In other words, you could put it, let your ears hear whatever they want to hear. Don't judge the sounds. There are no, as it were, proper sounds or improper sounds, and it doesn't matter if somebody coughs or sneezes or drops something. It's all just sound. And if I am talking to you right now and you're doing this, I want you to listen to the sound of my voice just as if it were noise. Don't try to make any sense out of what I'm saying, because your brain will take care of that automatically. You don't have to try to understand anything. Just listen to the sound. As you pursue that experiment, you will very naturally find that you can't help naming sounds, identifying them, that you will go on thinking, that is to say, talking to yourself inside your head automatically. But it's important that you don't try to repress those thoughts by forcing them out of your mind, because that will have precisely the same effect as if you were trying to smooth rough water with a flat iron. You're just going to disturb it all the more. What you do is this. As you hear sounds coming up in your head, thoughts, you simply listen to them as part of the general noise going on, just as you would be listening to the sound of my voice, or just as you would be listening to cars going by or to birds chattering outside the window. So look at your own thoughts as just noises. And soon you will find that the so-called outside world and the so-called inside world come together. They are a happening. Your thoughts are a happening, just like the sounds going on outside. And everything is simply a happening, and all you're doing is watching it. Now, in this process, another thing that is happening that is very important is that you're breathing. And as you start meditation, you allow your breath to run just as it wills. In other words, don't do at first any breathing exercise, but just watch your breath breathing the way it wants to breathe.
Did you know that you could be generating 10 grand a month or more by simply teaching other people what you already know, extract that into an online course and sell it around the world fast? This is Kerry Eagler. He's generated 7 figures teaching other people e-commerce. And this is Joanna Tompkins. She just had a 30 grand month teaching nail technicians how to get more clients. This is Edward Taylor. He's generated multiple 6 figures teaching visual effects artists around the world how to get better. And this is Paul Martin. He just generated 30 grand inside 3 weeks by pre-selling his course that he hadn't even made to magicians. And what do all these people have in common? Well, they simply decided to turn the expertise that they already had, put that down into an online course and sell it around the world. And from experience, it's the fastest way to generate a lot of revenue without having to do any one-on-one coaching, consulting, done-for-you agency services, any of that stuff. It's much more efficient and fun. And because the most efficient way of teaching people at scale around the world is by simply just creating a digital clone of yourself, of what you already know, recording that into an on-demand course, and then selling it to everyone around the world, around the clock, all the time. And with over 500 clients personally, I know the exact repeatable process that can take you from 0 to 7 figures in pretty much any niche. And in terms of what you could be teaching, I've got clients in niches that range from drumming to yoga, landscape gardening to real estate, anxiety coaching to maths teachers, literally and anything in between. It doesn't matter what you teach. With a repeatable process, you can very quickly extract what you know right now, put it into an online course, get up to 10 grand a month and more very, very fast. So you might be wondering, Carl, that sounds amazing, but what would I teach? How would I know how to sell it and market it? What would I need to do to get started right now? Well, I've just finished up a brand new training and it's going to show you the 5 evolutionary steps that I personally know that you need to go from where you are right now to getting up to 10 grand a month and beyond by simply inserting your knowledge in an online course in this middle bit and selling it around the world. In this free training, I'm going to show you how to define your niche, kind of concrete exactly what you could teach other people around the world. I'm going to show you how to put it all together in a course structure. I'm going to show you how to build an audience and market to that audience without using any paid ads. It doesn't have to be anything fancy or anything difficult. It's very, very straightforward. I'm going to show you how to price it and even go up to, high ticket price points and charge between 5 and 10 grand for your own offer and make a ridiculous amount of money. So to watch the training, simply click on the link on the screen. Simply just give me your email. In exchange, you get instant access to the training. If you don't like it, just unsubscribe from the emails that you get from me. No hard feelings, but it's going to be worthwhile. It's only 30 minutes long. It's going to be the best 30 minutes that you invest in yourself this year, guaranteed. Because put simply, there's such a huge demand for knowledge right now. And there's always a gap in the market for people teaching this stuff. There's people coming into your industry right now that wish they could just extract what's in your brain to help them get to where they want to get to much, much faster, rather than learn all this stuff by themselves. If you can provide the gap in that market to these people that want to learn this stuff by simply handing over money to you and they just learn this stuff overnight rather than having to figure this stuff out over many months and many years, that's how you have a fantastic online course business that you can be proud of. And it helps people around the world. And it really is quite fun. And also in this training, I show you the exact steps I personally took to go from 0 to 7 figures in my own business. I give you my funnels, a case study of pricing, how I built my own audience from scratch, everything I did to get from where I was, 0, all the way to 7 figures and beyond in my business, on top of showing you how you can do that as well. So if you know you're bored doing the same thing, going down all these random rabbit holes about crypto and NFTs and affiliate marketing and all this stuff that's kind of a bit woo-woo, and you want to build an online business of your own that you're proud of, then click on the link on this page, on the screen. Just get started, run through the training. I can't wait to see what you think of it. I want you to reach out to me after, let me know how you get on. I'm excited. So click on the link on the screen and I'll see you on the other side.
This is Addy, and he owns a YouTube channel that creates content about celebrities. But he doesn't have to show his face, script, edit, or record any of the videos himself, yet every time somebody watches one of his videos, he gets paid a few cents by YouTube. A few cents? Big whoop, right? Well, yes, because in Addy's case, it adds up to $35,000 per month. This allowed him to quit his job and pursue his YouTube business full time. And I'm going to show you exactly how he did it. My name is Razvan Parashif, and I'm the founder of Grow Channels. We help regular people create an additional stream of income on YouTube without making any of the videos themselves. And we've helped hundreds of people do this, like Michael, who's making $15,000 a month, Addy, who's making $35,000 a month, or David, who made $12,000 in his first 45 days, and like so many other people that I don't have time right now to tell you about. And the best part is that they were able to do all this only while working a handful of hours per week on their channel. So no matter what they were doing, whether they're at home, spending time with their families, or grabbing dinner with some friends, or going on a road trip, their videos were getting views every single day, making them money. And the best part is, with our system, that it doesn't matter if you are good looking or not, funny or not, or knowledgeable or not, because you'll never have to appear in any of the videos. And despite my thing, you also don't need millions of views to generate a decent amount of money that will allow you to supplement or even replace your 9-to-5 income. In fact, this channel right here makes around $10,000 per month with only 600,000 views. I recorded a short training that shows you my 3-step playbook on how to start cash flowing YouTube channels in record time. So if you want to discover how you can do the same, hit the link below to check it out. Imagine being able to supplement your income so you can reach your financial goals faster. Imagine being able to replace your 9-to-5 income and be your own boss. And imagine waking up with not a worry in the world, being in complete control what you want to do that day and the next one and the next one. That reality is just one click away, so don't wait, click the button down below and watch the short training. And if you don't have time right now, at least open it up and bookmark it for later whenever you have a couple of minutes, because who knows whenever you are going to see this training ever again. So click or tap the link below to get instant access to the training right now. I'll see you there.
And notice a curious thing about this. You say in the ordinary way, I breathe, because you feel that breathing is something that you are doing voluntarily, just in the same way as you might be walking or talking. But you will also notice that when you are not thinking about breathing, your breathing goes on just the same. So the curious thing about breath is that it can be looked at both as a voluntary and an involuntary action. You can feel on the one hand, I am doing it, and on the other hand, it is happening to me. And that is why breathing is a most important part of meditation, because it is going to show you, as you become aware of your breath, that the hard and fast division that we make between what we do on the one hand and what happens to us on the other is arbitrary. So that as you watch your breathing, you will become aware that both the voluntary and the involuntary aspects of your experience are all one happening. Now that may at first seem a little scary, because you may think, well, am I just the puppet of a happening, the mere passive witness of something that's going on completely beyond my control? Or on the other hand, am I really doing everything that's going along? Well, if I were, I should be God. And that would be very embarrassing, because I would be in charge of everything. That would be a terribly responsible position. The truth of the matter, as you will see it, is that both things are true. You can see it that everything is happening to you, and on the other hand, you're doing everything. For example, it's your eyes that are turning the sun into light. It's the nerve ends in your skin that are turning electric vibrations in the air into heat and temperature. It's your eardrums that are turning vibrations in the air into sound, and in that way, you are creating the world. But when we're not talking about it, when we're not philosophizing about it, then there is just this happening, this won't give it a name. So then, let me connect this with the problem of birth and death, which puzzles people enormously, of course. Because in order to understand what the self is, you have to remember that it doesn't need to remember anything. Just like you don't need to know how you work your thyroid gland. So then, when you die, you're not going to have to put up with everlasting non-existence, because that's not an experience. A lot of people are afraid that when they die, they're going to be locked up in a dark room forever. And sort of undergo that. But one of the most interesting things in the world, this is a yoga, this is a way of realization. Try and imagine what it will be like to go to sleep and never wake up. Think about that. Children think about it. It's one of the great wonders of life. What will it be like to go to sleep and never wake up? And if you think long enough about that, something will happen to you. You will find out, among other things, that it'll pose the next question to you. What was it like to wake up after having never gone to sleep? That was when you were born. You see, you can't have an experience of nothing. Nature abhors a vacuum. So after you're dead, the only thing that can happen is the same experience, or the same sort of experience as when you were born. In other words, we all know very well that after people die, other people are born. And they're all you. Only you can only experience it one at a time. Everybody is I. You all know you're you. And wheresoever beings exist throughout all galaxies, it doesn't make any difference. You are all of them. And when they come into being, that's you coming into being. You know that very well. Only you don't have to remember the past. In the same way, you don't have to think about how you work your thyroid gland.
Please don't scroll.
Or whatever else it is in your
to become a
organism.
big content creator one day, but I have no supporters. Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to become a big content creator one day, but I have no supporters. So if you have the chance, please subscribe. Please don't
You
scroll.
don't have to know how to shine the sun. You just do it. Like you breathe. Doesn't it really astonish you that you are this fantastically complex thing? And that you're doing all of this and you never had any education in how to do it? You never learned, but you're this
So
miracle?
if you have the chance,
Well,
please don't
the
scroll.
point is
I'm just
that
trying to
from a
become
strictly
big content
physical,
creator one day, but I
scientific
have no
standpoint, this organism is a continuous energy with everything else that's going on. And if I am my foot, I am the sun. Only we've got this little partial view. We've got the idea that, no, I'm just something in this body. The ego. That's a joke. The ego is nothing other than the focus of conscious attention. It's like a radar on a ship. The radar on a ship is a troubleshooter. Is there anything in the way? And conscious attention is a designed function of the brain to scan the environment, like a radar does, and note for any trouble-making changes. But if you identify yourself with your troubleshooter, then naturally you define yourself as being in a perpetual state of anxiety. And the moment we cease to identify with the ego and become aware that we are the whole organism, you realize that as a first thing how harmonious it all is. Because your organism is a miracle of harmony. All this thing functioning together. Even those corpuscles and creatures that are fighting each other in the bloodstream and eating each other up. If they weren't doing that, you wouldn't be healthy. So what is discord at one level of your being is harmony at a higher level. And you begin to realize that, and you begin to be aware, too, that the discords of your life and the discords of people's life, which are a fight at one level, at a higher level of the universe, are healthy and harmonious. And you suddenly realize that everything that you are and do is at that level as magnificent and as free of any blemish as the patterns in waves, the markings in marble, the way a cat moves, and that this world is really okay and can't be anything else, because otherwise it couldn't exist. But the reality underneath physical existence, or which really is physical existence, because in my philosophy there's no difference between the physical and the spiritual. These are absolutely out-of-date categories. It's all process. It isn't stuff on the one hand and form on the other. It is pattern. Life is pattern. It is a dance of energy. So I will never invoke spooky knowledge. That is to say that I've had a private revelation, or that I have sensory vibrations going on a plane which you don't have. Everything is standing right out in the open. And it's just a question of how you look at it. So you do discover, when you realize this, the most extraordinary thing to me that I never cease to be flabbergasted at whenever it happens to me.
I hope you got some value from this video, and if you did, the only thing that I ask is that you subscribe. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.
Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to become a big content creator. Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to become a big content.
I have a challenge for you. I want to know if you'd like to write a book, your own book, and only...
Great. The new GoDaddy Arrow has AI marketing tools to help small businesses easily reach thousands of customers. It writes sweet social ads and email marketing. It even analyzes the results to boost business. I better start up in my game with some sweet new Guess who's back in the disco? Move so cool, so slick like disco. But she ain't did it like this though. Brand new chain, new clothes, and I'm just right.
continue and continue. But where they continue? They continue in the self-referral state of that infinite, unbounded, eternal intelligence, self-referral. Always in her own status. And the status is infinite correlation. Present everywhere, capable of performing all the things at all times throughout creation on a level where it's a 0-point motion, where it's duality in absolute unity. Anyunya bhav, anyunya bhav. It's this and that also. It's intelligence and energy also. It's unmanifest and manifest also. Everywhere throughout creation, all the time, eternally immortal, self-referral, completely self-sufficient, invincible. That is the element of Durga, Mahadurga, Mother Divine, Durga Amba, Mother Durga. Just the name enlivens that characteristic in our consciousness. The whole intelligence of ours on the individual level gets unified with the intelligence of the whole cosmos. This is communication with the unbounded, self-interacting, invincible element of Durgamba, Mother Durga. The word Durga is so beautiful. Durga means that which is present in the Durga, the fort. One is in the fort. Remaining always there at every point in creation and in the holistic value of the creation, totality. Same Mother Divine everywhere. The source, course and goal of all streams of knowledge. All streams of knowledge in the unified wholeness of the ocean of knowledge. Pure intelligence, Saraswati. Functioning belongs to Durgamba. Functioning belongs to Durgamba. When we are considering Durgamba, in the one unbounded ocean of consciousness, we find the intelligence value, which is awake for its unboundedness and fully wakeful for its point value, the collapse of infinity onto its own point. This collapse of infinity on its own point is the character of Durgamba. Durgamba Paramba, the organizing power of self-sufficient field of intelligence, the organizing power lively in Saraswati, lively in Mahalakshmi, Durga, but always remaining within its own cocoon, within that own cocoon. Cocoon not made of time and space boundaries, but cocoon of the unbounded field of para, that's the cocoon. It's a cocoon, but it's a transparent cocoon.
Please don't scroll. I'm just trying.
Unbounded boundaries. That may choose to be a cocoon in space and time, but nevertheless, it's her choice. Her reality is always full wakefulness in the unbounded, eternal, self-sufficient invincibility. Invoking that element of Durgamba in our own awareness, in our own memory, in our own feelings, means taking the individuality to be in par with unbounded universality. completely quiet in its self-sufficiency, but in full dynamism of its self-sufficiency. That is why it commands over the entire field of all possibilities, extending to infinity and available at the point value also, Dugamba. Duga characterizes what we know to be Sanjita, unifiedness, unified wholeness. It is the Sanjita that is always within itself, always lively in the meeting point. That's why commanding both sides. Commanding manifest and unmanifest, Duga. And one little impulse of the name fills the entire field of intelligence and then connects the individual with the cosmos. This is how, through our finest emotions, we communicate, we come in perfect alliance with that infinite organizing power of nature, which is always fully awake, always putting everything and everyone on the path of evolution, growing more and more and more and more. This is the organizing power of the ultimate, absolute level of intelligence. Mother Duga. Why we want to communicate? Because that one thing held in our consciousness, that one element held in our consciousness, that one quality of consciousness awake in our awareness. Whatever thought will be instantly fulfilled. That is the reason why we adore Dugamba. We invoke in our consciousness Dugamba in order that every thought of ours emerge from that fully self-sufficient, all-powerful, invincible force which will perform our thinking, our planning, our desire in a way that everything is available to us in a way we want it. It's a very great science of action. It's a very great science, supreme science of performance. It's a science of action. How to act. Be fully awake in the quality of Dugamba, in the quality of the organizing power of nature. It is that force which is organizing the infinite diversity of the universe with perfect orderliness based on the principle of least action. Principle of least action. The action hits directly to the goal to such an extent that the starting point of action and the ending point of action, reaching the goal, have no distance, because in every point of that infinite organizing power is contained the entire field.
Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to become a big content creator one day, but I have no supporters. So if you have the chance, please subscribe. Please don't scroll.
Time, the whole universe. The whole manifest universe is contained within a point of that self-sufficient, fully awake, eternal, immortal field of infinite possibilities, field of all possibilities. So the whole space and time of the universe, unbounded, is already contained within a point. And therefore,
Please don't scroll.
there is no
I'm just trying to
distance. When we are on that level of awareness, when we have in our awareness, in our consciousness,
I'm just trying.
lively field of all possibilities, Dugamba awake in our consciousness.
I'm just trying to
In every point of that consciousness, the entire universe is there.
So if you have the
Millions
chance,
of light
please
years
subscribe.
of distances in space and in the entire
Please don't
space
scroll.
is already contained within a point.
I'm
And
just
therefore,
trying to become a big content creator one day,
thought
but I have no.
and the
Please
goal,
don't scroll.
there are
I'm
no
just trying to
distance.
become a big content creator one
The
day.
goal is there where the thought is.
I'm just trying to become a big content
This
creator one
is
day.
the
Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to become a big content creator.
dignity,
Rome owed much of her
the
patriotism
grandeur,
to him.
the display of Mother Divine, all possibilities lively. At the point of our thought emergence of the thought, pure wakefulness of the infinite correlation value of the nature of Dugamba.
Please don't scroll. I'm
And
just
when that is lively in our consciousness,
We plan to go.
space and time distinctly don't
Attention adults.
obstruct the goal being reached by the starting point of the path. The goal and the path and the starting point is all there in that awake, which is awake in the quality of Dugamba. Unmanifest, fully awake within itself. From here comes the skill in action. When we want to do something, how to do it. Take your awareness to be fully self-referral. And there you think. And there you create the goal of thinking. You create what you desire. This is skill in action. This is skill in action. This is skill in action. Lord Krishna, the Brahman, the totality, absolute totality. Has given us the technique, the skill of successful action. On that level, which physics knows to be the principle of least action. The principle of least action. And what is that principle of least action? Let your awareness be itself. Don't move. Be where you are. Just be awake in yourself. And in that self-referral consciousness, what you have is Dugamba, the infinite organizing power of the universe. Infinite organizing power. Infinite organizing power. Fully awake. Let your awareness be awake on that level of intelligence, which is the home of Dugamba. You enter the home and you bask
Please
in
don't
the
scroll.
warmth
I'm just trying
of
to
the
become a big content creator one day.
reality of the home. Let your awareness be completely surrendered. This is a very beautiful word. It's completely surrendered to Dugamba, the infinite organizing power of Mother Divine. And then from there, you command all the laws of nature. Get what you want. This is Vedic action. This is the gift of Vedic science. My Vedic science offers this to everyone. And offers this to everyone means offers command over the infinite organizing power of nature. Gives him expertise in handling infinite organizing power, infinite creative power, that intelligence which is at the basis of this, that and everything. Perform from there. And your performance will mean think, desire, Ichha Shakti. Ichha Shakti. And this desiring is a natural process. One doesn't have to exert for desiring. Huh? One doesn't have to strain for desiring. Innocently, most innocently, most inactively, but fully awake in that level of intelligence, whatever the desire. And the desiring process is an automatic phenomenon. What is the desire on that level? How the desire and how the desiring is structured on that level of eternal silence and eternal dynamism in the midst of both. How? What is it? With the flow of the Veda.
I'm just trying to...
Hymns of the Veda. The desiring of Mother Divine is displayed in the sequentially growing impulses of the primordial sound, the Veda, the riches of the Veda, the mantras of the Vedas. This flow, this is spontaneity of the eternal process of desiring from that self-sufficient, self-interacting dynamics of the infinitely invincible quality of Mother Divine, Durgamba. So the technique of performance is perform from here. Perform from this level of your own intelligence, where the intelligence is self-referral. From the self-referral level of intelligence, desire, and that desiring is enough of performance. The desiring from the self-interacting dynamics, desiring from that level of self-interacting dynamics of Mother Divine, of Dugamba. It's a natural feeling which flows into the process of evolution of sound, speech, Veda, and expresses itself in the meaning of the sound, the meaning of the sound, the meaning of speech. This is one more step of evolution of that self-interacting dynamics of nature's intelligence. Sound is form. This is how the waves
amazes me that it's 2024 and people are still wearing in-the-ear earbuds. So you can get rid of these and get rid of these.
I'd like to ask you a question that has to deal with social relations between people. And this has been kind of concerning me for the years that I've been associated with you. I know that you say that when we get angry or when we get mad, that it's a weakness within ourselves, and I believe it. But I also know that sometimes when I deal with people, I sometimes get very infuriated by what happens, even though it might be to a large extent my own fault. And I feel sometimes a great anger growing within myself that I wish to express right then and there. In other words, I want to tell them off. So I'd like to know this, Maharishi, and perhaps you can help me. I know that when we do speak words that are negative in anger, they do pollute the environment. But I also know if I hold this anger within myself, I will feel a great stress. So I'd like to know how best to handle it. Can I express my anger, or should I somehow or other deal with it in a different manner?
Yogatha Kuru Karmani. That is the formula for action. What to do, being established in being, perform action. Then what will happen? The self is then established on that level of life which unites everything, which underlies everything. Then everything is more in terms of ourself. Everything is there. If the finger gets into the ink of the fountain pen, it's the mistake of the finger.
Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to become a big content creator one day, but I have no support.
Because we know it's a part of our life.
Please don't scroll.
It's a
I'm
part
just
of our
trying to
life.
become a big content creator one day.
When our awareness of growth,
Day, but I have no supporters.
other things are a part of our life. Even if this sense is missing, that is a part of my life, that is a part of me. We don't have to have that sense in our conscious awareness. But just as we don't have to have the conscious awareness that the finger is a part of my body. Nobody remembers that. Huh? In our mind, we don't remember that body is mine, finger is mine. No. Spontaneously, the awareness is such that the body is mine and this is mine and this is mine. So, when our awareness is limited to the body alone, then spontaneously, without even remembering or memorizing, the finger is a part of our body. And spontaneously, the behavior towards the finger is very intimate. Absolutely intimate. Like that, when the awareness broadens, and it does broaden as we dive into being more and more, with the infusion of being more and more, the awareness broadens, and everything spontaneously becomes a part of our being. More and more in terms of that, and more in terms of that. So just as we don't punish the finger for having been in the ink, it's a mistake.
We tend to think that our spirit is in our body. That's actually not correct. Your body is in your spirit. People always tell me, oh,
in the ink, it's a mistake. Like that, we don't punish someone for the mistake because it's just a part and parcel. What we do is remove the mistake, remove the ink. No punishment. So the punishment comes with our, first thing, with our inability to have that cordial relationship, to have that sense of oneness and love and dearness that in a spontaneous manner. It's a level of consciousness. It is spontaneous. It's not a matter of intellect. You have to analyze. It's just a spontaneous awareness. And then that is the spontaneity of the feeling, that is the spontaneity of behavior without understanding, even without feeling. That's the level of life. And this is the characteristic of broadened awareness. Broadened awareness. So, what we have to do in order to have ideal behavior with other people, and ideal not only behavior, but ideal perception. Perception. Now, such an ideal perception is most valuable to us. On one side, it is the application of our own level of awareness. On the second, with this application, this kind of awareness becomes more and more established. One thing is the level of our own consciousness. But if we don't apply this level of consciousness to the field of activity in behavior with others, then this awareness remains dominant. It remains latent. Even if it is our awareness, then it must be applied, it must be used. And putting it to use, it gets stabilized in the field of action. And more stabilization of this level of awareness produces more and more fuller life. Because fullness of life lies in harmony. The perception is more harmonious. On that level of harmonious perception, behavior is spontaneously harmonious. And this harmonious behavior, firstly, does good to our life in the environment. Secondly, it stabilizes, it integrates our inner value in the outside, both together. The environment becomes enriched and the life becomes enriched, and in a spontaneous manner.
Can a device smaller than a lunchbox really blast enough warm air to keep your home warm this winter? This veteran's brilliant little invention is disrupting the billion-dollar heating industry. Now, Americans can heat their homes for just pennies a day with this amazing invention. The story began 11 months ago when Donald, a disabled Vietnam War veteran, woke up.
It becomes enriched and in a spontaneous manner. And this, our system of EM, that without any intellectual implication or emotional implication, the consciousness grows, the awareness becomes broadened, by the time it becomes unbounded, that unbounded awareness is the characteristic on which such a kind of natural behavior can be possible. Once that awareness is there, established, behavior will always be ideal. Just as we behave with our body without thinking and even without feeling, in a very loving way, spontaneous way, so also we behave with everything else. And this is when the limited boundaries are broken, and they are not broken anywhere. Only the ignorance that limits our perception and that limits our behavior, in the sense that behavior becomes complicated. It's all due to the limitation of our awareness. And as we dive and as physiologically, as our stress is released, deep-rooted stresses are released, more and more spontaneously, our nervous system, our body becomes capable of reflecting that pure awareness more and more. So what we have to do is create a situation so that spontaneously that pure awareness is reflecting from our body, and on that basis, understanding will be so profound, sharp and perfect. Discrimination will reach its height. You don't have to think and analyze to discriminate. The whole thing is on the surface. Because the deepest value of life is vibrating in your perception, in your feeling, in your understanding, and that translates into action. So the whole field of behavior is dependent on what we are, how small or how big, how limited or how broad we are in our awareness. And spontaneously, that is the level of behavior. Doesn't matter what. So, it's not only, you see, the life is wholeness. Life is wholeness. When we live life, we are living wholeness. And it's not possible to control wholeness by amending parts. Some aspect, anger or greed or this thing or that thing, these are the aspects. So the wholeness can neither be amended nor be properly analyzed or understood even by taking care of the parts. On the other hand, parts can be enriched by the blossoming of wholeness. Awareness is wholeness. Perception, behavior, these are the channels of application of that wholeness. So there is no way to try to improve the parts without improving the totality of our life. That is why the basic thing to improve any aspect of life and behavior is a very, very important aspect of life. To do that, we just broaden awareness. And to broaden awareness, we make use of nothing other than what life is. Life as life, infinite, unbounded, eternal. And therefore, we just open our awareness to that. We open and know it, know what we are. And once we know what we are, there is no restriction, no limitation. We just flow like, even though we flow in the waves, but we flow like an ocean, remaining stationary, yet ever flowing in high waves. The ocean never flows, but it flows in waves. Altogether it flows without altogether flowing. So when we behave established in that wholeness, behavior is compatible to that wholeness. And in the wholeness, only evolution is possible. No negativity is possible. Wholeness is the summation of all positivities of life. So, anger or whatever, these are all the resistances, as if resistances for the blossoming of fullness of life. And we handle all that through meditation and action. Meditation and action.
Thank you.
Greetings, I'm Richard Vague, and welcome to the Weekly Comment, what we hope is an approachable space for insightful discussions of global economic trends.
Forms and different forms. So it's the Veda in which Dugamba, Paramba, has her own eternal self-interacting dynamics of intelligence. And stationed on that level, our individual awareness spontaneously flows in that impulse of the primordial sound, the unmanifest sound, the most refined expression, the first expression in the non-expressed absolute state of intelligence. And every impulse there has the totality of the whole universe. It's like, for example, you have a seed. You properly glorify the seed. Underground, put it underground in some earth and some things, in some water, something. And create an environment where all the concentrated fibers which structure the seed, each fiber begins to swell up. And when each fiber is separated from its holistic structure, and then suddenly a sprouting starts. At every level of the sprout, all the fibers have their participation. The totality is participating in the sprouting. And at every step of its growth, the totality is involved at every step of the growth. This is why. This is just an example to show how, thinking from that level of the self-directing dynamics of intelligence, the total potential of natural law comes to design the impulse. That means the style of expression, the system of expression, the total potential of natural law, all the laws of nature together, compactified in that self-interacting dynamics, in that Sanghita level of Paramba. It begins to move within itself. This is what is self-interacting dynamics of intelligence. Self-interacting dynamics. The seed interacts within itself. So all the
Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to become a big content creator one day, but I have no supporters. So if you have the chance, please subscribe. Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to become a big content creator one day, but I have no support. Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to become a big content creator one day, but I have no supporters. So if you have the chance, please subscribe. Please don't scroll.
All the fibers, innumerable fibers of the seed that structure the seed and keep it in its self-contained structure, they begin to swell. There is a self-interacting dynamics of all the fibers of the seed, and functioning within themselves, they begin to expand. And the first expression of expansion is the sprouting of the seed. The sprouting of a seed we understand in terms of thinking process. Think how the thought arises is the expression of Mother Divine on its own level. The infinite organizing power of nature functioning on its own level. And here is the excitement or inspiration to all the laws of nature to start creating. All the laws of nature are engaged at every moment in the reverberation of this natural self-interacting dynamics of infinite creativity. So the technique for performance, the technique for successful action, the technique for action is invoke or make lively in your consciousness, or take your consciousness to that level where the consciousness is completely self-referral. And this level of consciousness is in terms of Dugamba. It is Dugamba. It is Mata Saraswati. It is Mahalakshmi, Paramba. All the three are there in their holistic value, depending on our desire. All the three will promote desire in the direction which we intend. Whether the desire requires predominance of the support of Saraswati, or predominance of support from Mahalakshmi, or predominance of Durga. But Durga is everywhere. In order for Saraswati to act, it's in the nature of Dugamba that Saraswati would display the streams of knowledge, and the ocean of pure knowledge will flow and flood in the direction of the desire direction. The desire of the devotee, we say devotee. Why? Devotee. Consciousness is devoted to that infinite organizing power. So the individual consciousness becomes a devotee, and dedication to that means complete merger with that reality. This is what is surrender. Surrendering to Dugamba is a phenomenon of taking our awareness to that level of junction where the manifest and unmanifest, both values are comprehended. Anyonya bhav, we call it, anyonya bhav. Field of all possibilities, lively field of all possibilities. That is the surrender. And the surrendering process, we know from our practice of transcendental meditation. The surrendering process is an automatic system that the grosser impulses of of our feelings. They settle down into finer values and settling to the finite value and then transcendental value, self-referral intelligence, the field of infinite organizing power, where all invincible power of Mother Durga is spontaneously available. Spontaneously available means no effort is there. No effort is there. No effort is there. So with whatever desire you have gotten onto that level, that desire gets fulfilled because all the laws of nature rush on to fulfill one feeling of Mother Divine. The entire administration of the whole universe. Infinite diverse values, but correlated with some supreme intelligence that spontaneously puts everything in its infinite dynamism, but in the huge unbounded ocean of
I'm just trying to become a big content creator one day, but I have no supporters. So if you have the
infinite
chance,
silence,
please subscribe.
with infinite dynamism, of infinite characters,
Please don't scroll.
of
I'm just trying to be. Please
different
don't
values
scroll.
in the whole
I'm just
universe.
trying to become a big content creator
And all
one
that
day, but I have no supporters.
present
So if you have the chance, please
within a
subscribe.
point. That point is reached by our process of transcendental meditation, process of transcending. And once the awareness has gone out of the boundaries of space and time, there is that field where zero-point motion is possible. Motion is there, but unmanifest motion is there. The thinker is there, but it is unmanifest. The thinking process is there, but it is unmanifest. The goal is there, but it's unmanifest. The path is there, but it's unmanifest. The starting point is there, but it's unmanifest. It is in the character of sameness, which is called Durga, the dweller of the fort. Where is the fort? Fort is that where everything is safe and secured. What is that point? Is the point, meeting point of unmanifest and
I'm just
manifest.
trying to become a big content
There
creator
everything
one
is
day,
safe.
but I have no
Because
supporters. So if you have
neither
the
the
chance, please
unmanifest
subscribe.
is frowning on us, nor the manifest is frowning on us.
I'm just trying to become a big
It's the
content. Please don't scroll.
common
I'm just trying to become a big content creator one day,
and
but I
reaching
have no
point
supporters. So if you
of
have
the
the
entire
chance, please
course of
subscribe.
the unmanifest and manifest.
Please
That's
don't
why
scroll.
it's Paramba,
Please don't scroll.
transcendental
I'm just trying to
mother,
become a big content creator one day,
the
but I
mother
have no supporters. So
divine,
if you have the chance, please subscribe.
radiating that richness and infinite
Please
support
don't scroll.
for
I'm just trying to
everything.
become a big content creator one day, but I have no supporters. So if you have the chance, please subscribe.
This is the most exalted area of
I'm
my
just trying to
Vedic
become a
science.
big content creator one day.
Every single person, most spontaneously, most
I'm just trying
effortlessly,
to become a big content
taking
creator
one's
one day, but I
awareness
have no
to
supporters.
that
So
most
if you have the chance, please
desirable
subscribe.
field of infinite organizing power, and from there, by mere desiring, accomplish what you want. This knowledge, this technology is the basis of our aspiration, our global aspiration to create heaven on earth. When we got into this level of knowledge, this very simple system of taking field where everything is available. Taking our awareness to a field where everything is spontaneously available, whatever we would want, we will not be required to exert our effort. No, spontaneously available, anything by mere desiring. Only we have to train our awareness to get stationed on that level of reality and enter that value, enter the home of Dugamba with a desire. And she doesn't have to do anything. Her status is that if you are able to contact, you are the custodian of the infinite organizing power, and this is the blessing of Mother Divine. One only has to deserve, just reach that level, and that is a level where you don't have to ask. It's a level where everything is available, you pick up. You pick up for what you went. You pick up for what you went. You pick up for what you went. You pick up for what you went.
It's very
What
sad.
I'm saying is borne out
It's
with
very sad
the
and
entire
tragic.
sequence of infinite value of cycles of time.
Very sad and tragic.
Cycles of time, you know?
Very common.
Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, Kalyug.
Strength,
Millions of years of
courage,
very great time where every life is fully lived in accord with all the laws of nature. And then the time comes when the life starts to be lived in, maybe, just for the sake of explaining, we say, maybe 70% of the laws of nature are spontaneously lived in a long cycle of time.
love,
The situation rises that now only 25% of the total potential of natural law becomes a living reality on
Best
Earth and
wishes
in heaven, in
always.
the whole universe. Total potential.
God bless. God
And then
bless
there
us
comes a
all.
time, 25% of natural law. And there comes a time when you start to go back again in the rising scale from 25 to 50 to 75 to 100, and then the circle comes. This is the eternal circle of time in the infinity of eternity. It is the eternity, it's eternity that keeps on being evaluated in terms of its own cycles. And cycles of what? Cycles of the
It's
relationship
very
of
sad and
point and
tragic, but
infinity.
very common.
Point expands to infinity, infinity expands to point, point expands to infinity, infinity expands to point, and this expansion and contraction in the
You can
field
only
of
sit in a
space
father
and
like
time,
you.
this is going on with infinite speed, and this is the dynamism, the infinite organizing power of Mother Divine,
Father
which
like
is a
you.
natural situation
Father like
on
you.
that level of reality.
God bless.
For us,
Oh, the Godfather bless us all.
who are only subjected to limitations. For us, it's the cycle
God bless us
of
all of us.
Satyuga, very big, and then Treta, and then Dwapar and Kalyug. And then we say we come down to small cycles of yearly cycles and what? Daily cycles, seasonal cycles, and cycles of night and day. And so from big, huge cycle to small cycle, all this is on the basis of the nature of reality. Mahaduga is the smallest cycle. Manifest and unmanifest, manifest and unmanifest. There is nothing, no space and time completely, this and that and this and that. And then becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, bigger. That is from our level of understanding. As far as the truth
Amen,
goes,
brothers and sisters.
the whole thing is there at all times with infinite speed.
Need
Satyug
meditate.
Kalyug Dwapar Satyug Kalyug Dwapar. For Satyug to turn into Kalyug, for Kalyug to turn into Satyug and all, this is all the time reality, and that is the structure, that is the nature of the ultimate reality. This is the infinite organizing power that there is no end to it. We can't say only this or only this or only this or only this.
Friends and family. Hello, John. Totally depressed. Friends and family enjoy. That's very sad and tragic, but very common. Strength, courage, intelligence are rare commodities. Thank God I went to the Citadel, had a father like you. The Godfather blesses all of us, even though we may lack perspective or insight. Friendship, kindness, love, compassion, family, best wishes always. Brothers and sisters need to meditate and take action. God bless us all. Friends and family enjoy. It's very sad and tragic, very common. Strength, courage, intelligence are rare commodities. Thank God I went to the Citadel and a father like you. The Godfather blesses all of us, even though we may lack perspective or insight. Friendship, kindness, love, compassion, family. Best wishes always. Brothers and sisters need to meditate and take action. God bless us all.
This was the starting point of our movement 35 years ago. And we have been on the same path, and the same path, in the same path.
Please don't scroll.
Completely automatic communication with the field of all possibilities. Every child knows if you want something, run to Mother Divine. Run to Mother at home. He just run. He knows nothing other than Mother. If you want to eat something, if you want to stop eating, if you want to run, if you want to do anything, just Mother and Mother and Mother and Mother. This is the display dynamic program of transcendental meditation to come to that lively field of all possibilities. Spontaneously, the mind is absolutely drawn to be on that field, losing its own identity in the sense that gaining unbounded reality. The space-time mind, the space-time bound mind, getting into the program of transcendental meditation, comprehending increasing refinement of the thinking process, comes to the source of thought, and that source is unbounded field of infinite organizing power. The thought gets materialized from there. The system is the same deal there, you know.
I'm just trying to become a big
With the-
content creator one day,
with
but
the
I have
thought
no
of-
supporters. So if you have the chance, please subscribe.
Getting something, even a cup of milk. Now you have a machine. You have to put a coin in that. And the moment coin reaches the level, suddenly the gate opens, and what comes is a cup of milk. Only the coin has to reach the point. If the coin doesn't reach the point, the gate doesn't open, one doesn't get the expected glass of milk. But if the coin reaches that level, it hits the gate, immediately the gate opens, and spontaneously the whole mechanics are so set that once the gate is open, automatically the milk comes up. That is the procedure, exactly the same thing. In this, what happens is, the laws of nature on the electronic level perform the whole thing to fulfill the desire of getting the milk. In the case of Mother Divine, it's not one or two or three kind of natural law. All possible laws of nature, the whole unified field of all the laws of nature gets stirred. This is unified field. Now one little impulse here is impulse throughout creation. This impulse throughout creation. That is why we say Paramba, you say Mother Durga is present everywhere, throughout, omnipresent, omniscient, omnipresent, omniscient. And when the conscious mind hits that level, stirs that level, it's a field of all possibilities. Whatever you have ordered is spontaneously supplied to you. You have only to channel your order properly so that it reaches the desk of delivery. What you have to do is just simply channel the order and let it reach the desk of delivery, and you have it. This is modern system of demand and supply. You demand and supply is automatic. They'll deliver to your home or wherever you say 12 o'clock, send my lunch in that garden under the tree there and this and this. Wherever you order. But you have to channel the order properly. That's all. You have to channel the order properly. Whatever is your desire, the channel is that hold that desire and transcend through that and transcend and transcend and transcend. And once you have transcended, the delivery is spontaneous. Because that you feel that all the laws of nature rush on to deliver the demand. All the laws of nature. The entire general manager and assistant manager and all the lower ranks all simply rush on to the state of an order. What has been demanded? Let's see, immediately worked out. There are no sequence of organization. There are no sequence of organization, not one after the other, not one after the other, but the total at a time. That is why we say it's a field of all possibilities. It's a field of all possibilities. That is why in India, hail great India, the land of the Veda. That's why in India, the theme of performance, the theme of action is Yogastha Kuru Karmani. Yogastha. Come to the state of singularity. Transcend. And that process of transcending itself is the action of performance, Kuru Karmani. You engage in action by getting to the state of singularity. Get to the state of singularity. Get yourself. Be the basis of demand. Be the basis of demand. Who is demanding? Mr. Max is demanding or Mr. Hooks is demanding? Who is demanding? Be the demander. Be yourself. And then this is the process of receiving the desired value. Yogastha Kuru Karmani. Once you are Yogastha, once you are in a self-reference state, once you are in the transcendental state, once you are in the transcendental state, you are beyond space and time. You are beyond space and time. You are on that level from where spontaneous self-referral dynamism eternally creates the universe. Eternal process of creation of this unbounded infinite diversity is taking place from that level. And therefore, once you are there, you are the commander, if you want to use the word commander, of all the laws of nature. Or if you want to be a little bit more humble, you are the mercy of God. And the entire will of God is with you, the will of God. What we say on the level of science, the laws of nature, the total potential of natural law, the unified field of natural law, we can completely equate today. The scientific age has placed us on a level of reliable communication with this infinite organizing power of nature, which in the Vedic words we call Durgamba, Saraswati, Mahalakshmi, the different values of intelligence, and in the name of different religions we say God. Whatever the God of any religion, if the name God is significant, it is that unified field of all the laws of nature. The unified field of all the laws of nature. And the way to surrender to God, the way to get realization of God is the process of transcending. You go beyond the space and time, you go to the absolute level from where the creative process is eternally going on and continuously creating the entire field of the ever-growing universe. So a very beautiful knowledge of the mechanics of performance lies in transcending, and thereby spontaneously creating a situation that whatever the thought will get nourished. Will get nourished.
I'm a small firearms instructor where I'm outside of our class. You might be able to see folks in there right now.
Now it is in this sense that in every religion there is a sense of, there is a sense of angels. When you have the description of Mother Divine, she is surrounded by angels, and once you are on that courtyard, the angels will do things for you. This is spontaneity of fulfillment of action. It has been presented for the human beings to identify themselves with someone, some agency who is going to carry out my desire, who will fulfill the desire. So the description of Mother Divine, Durga,
Look out.
throughout the Vedic
Some
literature,
agency's gonna fulfill my desire.
surrounded with all the agencies, that simply means all the laws of nature. Once you are in that level means the level of the unified field. Once the awareness is open to that level, then all the laws of nature are there. That means you are served with all kinds of angels, all innumerable values of Devata. In that Rishi, Devata and Chandas perspective of Sanjita, Sanjita is Rishi, Devata and Chandas, in that perspective, the Devata element is the innumerable organizing abilities which in the scientific level we say laws of nature, different laws of nature, different values of the impulses. They are just the values of the impulses which create the primordial sound, the sound of the Veda. Those impulses of the Vedic sounds, that are always there lively in their non-changing character and their sequence of flow and the eternal sequence of flow. All that is recorded by those who experience that reality of the self-interacting dynamics of intelligence in nature within their own separate state of consciousness. They are the spheres. The sphere, who is the sphere? Sphere is also a quality of consciousness. Sphere is also a quality of Sanjita. And sphere, in the process of seeing, that dynamism is the element of Devata. So it is in the structure of the Sanjita, it is the structure of pure singularity, that because it is fully awake, it has the characteristic, or it has the quality of the sphere, and in the sphere, the process of seeing is the dynamism which is called Devata, and once the dynamism is there, silence gets shadowed. When the silence is open to our awareness, dynamism gets shadowed. Once the seeing part of it, the recognition part of it becomes more predominant in our awareness, Sanjita value gets shadowed. So this shadowing quality is again an eternal quality of consciousness. So we have Rishi value, Devata value, Chandas value. In the Devata value, in the dynamism Devata value, we have these
Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to become a big content creator one day, but I have no supporters. So if you have the chance, please subscribe. Please don't.
This Dugamba is so beautifully laid out for our intellect to comprehend and for our being to get soaked into that reality, for our individuality to get into that cosmic design where we are expert in designing anything, in working out anything. With this knowledge at hand, we thought, let's create heaven on earth. Fine, let's create heaven on earth. And what to do? Invoke or adore or glorify Durga, which is always and everywhere, wherever we may be, is seated in the most glorious aspect of our own being. That is the absolute level of our own reality. That's absolute level of our own reality. Infinite correlation value. It's all emotion, ocean of emotion. It's all ocean of oneness. Interplaying with itself. Unboundedness playing with its own unbounded reality. So this level of intelligence is to be brought to our comprehension, and that for that we are so grateful to Gurudev. He gave us transcendental meditation, and very easily, at any time we want, we have that level available to us, and from there we design, we desire, we post our card of demand, and the supply will be instantaneous. It's a very fortunate time in the history of all, in the long history of all human race, that this wisdom of invoking the infinite organizing power of nature's intelligence is available to us at hand, very at hand. So the dignity of Durga, the glory of Durga, the unbounded and eternally available to anyone, in any space-time dimension, everyone has access to that thing. This is the practical utility of my Vedic science. In a very authentic way, laying out the entire Vedic literature as the literature of a perfect science and making it a living reality in everyone's life so that one would never get strained. One would always fulfill one's desire. I'm using the word always very purposefully and very intentionally. Always fulfillment of desire. Because that level of intelligence which we are advocating for every individual's awareness to communicate with is beyond space and time. And it's that value which is the basis of all space and time. That means at any time, in any place, that reality is always present. It's always present. It's always present. It's just a matter of channeling our desire from the gross level of space-time values to the finer levels till the boundaries vanish and the unbounded is fully awake. So Yogastha Kuru Karmani is the field of intelligence, that is Durgamba. Yogastha Kuru Karmani. His Vedic theme of action is not through stress and strain, no. It does not need any machinery to lift the desire or to bend the desire or to channel the desire. No machine is necessary. Whatever brain physiology is there is completely enough. Anyone who can think can command all the laws of nature Anyone who can think can get on to that blessed field of Durga, Paramba. Everyone who can think is blessed with all that is necessary to have this ability to command all the laws of nature through mere desiring. This is devotion to Durga. This is devotion to Durga. The commander of all possibilities, the commander of all possibilities. And that commander in the spirit of mother. The spirit of mother means always and indiscriminately always nourishing. Always nourishing, always nourishing.
I am such a troll. Sorry.
So with this field of knowledge and its organizing power, with this field of invincibility and complete self-sufficiency available to everyone in one's own transcendental consciousness, everyone can do anything, and this we say, the grace of Paramba, the grace of Dugamba, the grace of that element in nature.
Paramba and Dugamba is like for God or doing God.
Which is omnipresent, which is omniscient, which is omnipotent, capable of doing anything. The embodiment of all the laws of nature in that very holistic basis, which is the character of the junction point of unmanifest and manifest, unmanifest and manifest. That means stationed at a place which commands all directions, which commands all possibilities. Dugamba, beautifully adored.
This is why Dugamba is like God backwards, which is do, or forwards it's go. So go do.
By
Do and go.
all the riches of the Vedas, by all the mantras of the Vedas, by all the shlokas of the Puranas and Smritis and Upanishads and Aranyakas and Brahmanas and Upavedas, all adored, everything is adoration to different qualities of Mahadurga, quality of Mother Divine, quality of that infinitely correlated field of all possibilities, fully awake at all the time. All the Upavedas, all the Ayurveda, Gandharveda, Dhanurveda, Sthapatya, all the impulses of the mantras of these different values of knowledge, they all are the different values of the organizing power of nature's intelligence, organizing power of nature's intelligence.
Very intelligent.
The Brahman has expressed Prakritim Swam, in my own Prakriti, in my own nature, which is like this. Where is the creative process? How do I create the universe? I just arrive to my own Prakriti, my own nature. And that nature is in the dynamic character, Dugamba. Prakriti Swam, in my own nature. I communicate. From that communication springs out the whole creation. Prakritim swam avashtabhi visrijami puna puna. It's the same exemplification of the Yogastha Kuru Karmani. Be yourself and function. Accomplish anything, arrive at anything without doing anything. An enormously rich understanding and perception of Dugamba, in which Saraswati is lively, Mahalakshmi is lively, all possibility is lively.
Did you know that most people get stuck on their path to financial abundance not because of a lack
of possibility is lively? And she is adored as mother because of enriching nature, enrichment, pure enrichment, support, evolution, growth. This is the element what living in daily life, and that life will be free from stress and strain and suffering. That is the kind of life we want to create in the world through this knowledge and through this technology. This is the glory of the Vedic science. My Vedic science is competent now for every single individual on earth to arrive at this enlightenment where all possibilities are open to him or to her. And this kind of education, when we promote in the world will be heaven. The light of human life will be the light of heaven. All life in the universe will be lived with that utter simplicity that all things will be available to everyone. And the nature of life is just that. Nature of life, no one wants to suffer. So real nature of life will become a living reality. Just because the nature of life is that level which never changes. The nature of life is always nature of life. And what is the nature of life? Silence and dynamism and silence and dynamism and eternally, immortal. Immortal is the field of life. Unified field is the field of life. Dugamba is the reality of all dynamism in creation, whether it's the dynamism in the individual life or dynamism of cosmic life, but that is that one element which is always completely self-sufficient and invincible and has the competence of creating and promoting infinite order in the infinite diversity of the reality. So today has been a very, very beautiful day for us to adore Mahadurga in our consciousness, and we see how simple it is to live perfection in life. Now we see how simple it is to structure heaven on earth. And where will that be structured? It will be structured on the level of Dugamba. This will be lifefulness. Completely fulfilled and always fulfilled. No problems, absolutely no suffering. What would prevail is what prevails on that level of reality. And what prevails on that level of reality? Infinity in a point. All possibilities at any point. at any point of time, at any point of space. Unboundedness. Life full of all glories. Problems and sufferings are going to be a forgotten past of human race. With this knowledge, heaven will be a reality in the life of all the people on earth. And all glory to Gurudev, who gave us this beautiful insight and wisdom into reality, and now we have used the knowledge well, the knowledge that Gurudev gave us, we have used it well, and now the goal of all knowledge, perfection in every field of life, heaven on earth, is going to be created on this ground of human understanding. Jai Guru Dev.
Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha.
Say